Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on, yes again, Langres. Sometimes I just don't have a choice. But today should be an interesting match. Speed Merchant fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 2nd Armoured Division, going up against HelpingHans of the 116th Panzer Division, Wehrmacht. So going to be quite a match today, I imagine. 2 pioneers start from Hansi, whereas Mr. Speed Merchant is going for the 2-year start himself as well. So in that sense, a bit mirrored, and in fact it looks like they're going for the sort of same points right next to the bases so far. But from Speed Merchant, we are seeing a Jeep coming out as the first unit possible. Quite interesting. Clearly he's intent on doing some harassment pretty early on. Fascinating, will be interesting to see how that works out. Whereas Hans, well, we'll find out what he's coming out with. He's starting out, in fact, with an MG42 team. Schweres MG42. Marching out for the fatherland. Bit aggressive in some ways. I think you have to be careful, and certainly not something I'd recommend to people who are not really, skilled. In fact, something like this could happen. The Jeep is rushing out here and is noting, someone's taking a point. Let's not go harass. Or why not go harass? Turns out it's his MG42. So there, Hans might have some problems as the Jeep charges in. 30 caliber firing. Although there's a bike on the way, though, from Hans to try and save the situation, but this MG42 is already taking a nice helping of MG fire from the bike. Although there we go, bike pushing away the Jeep. In that sense, the Jeep can no longer win. Pioneers also pulling up. Speed Merchants hoping to sort of deliver some speedy death, has rather been pushed back. Rifleman pulling up there. Reconnecting the point there. No, they are in fact moving on to assist the Jeep. MG42 pushing up, providing covering fire. And the Pioneers getting pushed back as well. In the meanwhile, in the east, we are seeing a bit of progress there, while in the west, Speed Merchant is continuing more or less unimpeded. Nothing to stop him there, since Hans is focusing heavily on the east, partly because of the Jeep. Rather forces his attention over there, of course. MG42 pushing up to again try and deny the Americans. The Americans just swing west, continuing to sort of not draw into too heavy engagement so far, which is certainly not a bad idea. As the Wehrmacht, your typical goal is to sort of blunt the American spear, to sort of grind them down a bit so you can then take the initiative, as the Americans always tend to start with the initiative unless for some bizarre reason they actually give it up. In that sense, Hans' goal is so far just to sort of blunt things for the Americans, make it a bit harder, and thus giving him some room to actually make some decisions. So far, though, we are also seeing now a full kind of squad moving up. Keep getting pushed back. Again, heavy losses for the engineers in the east, whereas in the west, pretty much all American by now. Might soon be seeing additional riflemen coming out for Speed Merchant. His Jeep, though, has taken quite a bit of damage. Volkswagen's pushing up. Hans holding out here with an MG42 in the building, establishing a small strong point, although how long that will last, of course, is another question. Riflemen sneaking in behind, could be going for the point, and there's not much that might be able to be done. MG42, though, did a bit spotted, but it can just reach just barely, but the rifle might even then be able to render it neutral. Then again, there's lots of machine gun fire, not just from the machine gun squad, but also the bike, tearing through these rifles and in fact pinning them down, forcing them away with some pretty nasty losses and quite a bit of wounds. He might have been able to push in with this rifle, but apparently he did not feel for it. Pioneer squad heading westwards, and Flamethrower engineers also ready due to these rather sort of large part of the map he was able to gain without much competition, including the high munitions point. That's probably going to hurt Hans a bit. Jeep charges in, causing complete chaos. Now setting up for a pretty lovely assault from all sides. Flamethrowers, riflemen heading from the sides, and the Jeep, of course. MG Volkswagen is forced away. German sniper sets up, getting off a good shot. I do believe a Pioneer squad went down for poor Hans. Bike is in trouble. Mines going down. We've also seen mines from Hans, though. That's good. Good that both sides are in fact mining. This should definitely prove out to be an interesting match. Jeep, bike could be going down. No, looks like it just makes it away. Or will the Jeep try to hunt it down relentlessly? Oh, so close, so close. Out of control. The Jeep is gone, ladies and gentlemen. HelpingHans and the 116th Panzer Division is short one Jeep. And again, he's really being penned in. Hans has really taken a thrashing. Although, again, it rather looks like a more passive start. There's not been a lot of infantry to sort of really, take the fight. Oh my goodness! Mine went off, killing an engineer squad, laying down a mine of its own. And the Jeep! Mines going off left and right. Hans has certainly not been lax with his own mines. That's good. That's great. Although a bit painful for Speed Merchant, who decided to send some other in to sort of finish the mining, just brushing away bits of Tom and John. MG42 pulling up, second, and getting a second MG42. It's a bit more passive, a bit more grindy approach he's taking. I would have preferred myself, more aggressive with more full scale approach, but that is a matter of, personal taste, how your sort of temperaments lie. But it's definitely also going to be one that's really handing over the initiative then to Speed Merchant, thus allowing him to sort of really, put up the pressure. He's getting another Jeep. That's quite interesting. You rarely see players who sort of bother with more than one Jeep. Fascinating to say the least. He's definitely got a bit of resources there floating about. And we are seeing us supply it up, so he might in fact go for vehicles or just go there to sort of help with veterancy, but also, manpower upkeep. These riflemen need to get back though, get healed up, get reinforced. They are not really fit for combat anymore, heavily wounded and forced to retreat for all of this. Could easily end up for Speed Merchants. Oh, yeah, that just looks like they might not survive. No, looks like the Jeep actually sort of... Oh, never mind. Oh my goodness, that lucky little bastard. Jeep trying to get away. Mine's there, right by the other Jeep. Mine goes off, killing one Volkswagen, is pressing the other. More mines going off, stopping the MG42. Really aggressive mining by both players. I like it, I love it. Certainly something, again, for more novice players to sort of note. And again, it's also one of these sort of better tools every Wehrmacht commander does have, and sort of, again, blunting the American spears, sort of grinding them down so you can actually take the initiative and then sort of really, fight yourself. At the same time, we are seeing the Kriegbags. I imagine Hans might be going for some grenadiers, although a pack would certainly also be of help. Riflemen reinforced, moving out. Line of engagement. Oh, these pioneers are forced away quickly. Flamethrowers and Jeep. Although the Jeep itself is on fire, which isn't really supposed to be. Volkswagen is laying down barbed wire. Nice move, but they are quickly going to get run off. And Riflemen getting stopped here by these, another MG sniper pushing up to sort of increase the attrition. Volkswagen here taking heavy losses. Oh dear, more Riflemen pushing in from a flank. Quite a bit of resources being floated by Speed Merchant. He should either now consider just getting some more upgrades for the Riflemen, that is BARs or grenades, or he should work towards, either getting a tank depot or a motor pool, something. Bunker going up for Hans, but not really well placed or timed, right in front of the enemy sniper, though turning about. MG42 pulling back to a slightly more defensible position. And already, Speed Merchant is holding most of the map. He's got a lot of munitions because he's been holding that high munitions for most of the match already. Hans could also be sounding that GB effort already. Looks just like to point out. Jeep pushing in. Oh, might be getting the sniper. And he got Hans' sniper. Hans is taking quite a thrashing. He's pushed back, but he's not giving up. He's fighting furiously. Although I would also imagine at this stage he is a bit annoyed and upset. Raging at his men, demanding better assaults in the name of the fatherland. And this MG42 could also be in trouble, but looks like, he does manage to retreat. These folks are not in a half condition. Bunker up, probably going to be a medic bunker. Pack out. So far, not a single grenadier in sight. Rifle and Jeep pushing on at this other MG42, pushing that away. Pioneers held back in the bunker, desperately wishing for help. Firing away through the minor slits there are. Hoping for something to arrive to eat them. Hoping that Hans decides they're actually worth saving. Medics pop out, but they might be targets. No, looks like... Oh, never mind. Speed merchant does proceed to target some of them. There we go. First wounded picked up. Hans, though, needs more infantry, near infantry. And oh my goodness, speed merchants, stop floating resources. Instead, use them to gain a further upper hand. I mean, you could have gotten a tank depot up by now and a Sherman to really, sort of finish Hans off with a coup de grace. Instead, you might actually be helping him to gain a new footing and gain a defensive line. In fact, he's gone defensive. He's got a pack now. And he might soon be getting more infantry. And again, I would recommend salvaging that jeep for additional munitions, although it can be really a pain in the ass to actually try and salvage a bike, mind you. And also that jeep could be salvaged, but then again, he's not really been able to hold that area for very long. MG's pushing up. Volksgunn's moving about. Again, more infantry would be to the 8. There we go, grenadiers. More stalwart Panzer grenadiers. Whereas the Volksgunners probably are them from the Ersatz Panzer Division attached to sort of make the 116th, which was an amalgamation of a reserve Panzer Division and the remnants of the 16th Panzer Grenadiers who had been savaged on the Eastern Front. And a mine goes off, killing another Pioneer squad. Again, great mining. We'd love to see those mines. And again, that could also definitely be, one of Speed Merchant's advantages with that high munitions. Just mine as much as possible. MG turning up, perhaps for the far line to save this MG before it's... Oh no. Grenadiers though moving up to save the situation. And there we go, pushing it a bit surrounded though. Seizing the MG, but will they be able to get away with it? Grenades getting lobbed, clearing out that MG. In fact, meaning that was a bit of a waste of manpower. But Hans sacrifices his Volksgrenadier squad in seizing it. Not entirely sure that was a good bit, but now though we need to just remove the Americans. Slumped over that MG. Jeep moving out once more, and we are now seeing a tank depot up. We are also seeing a weapon support center. Not entirely sure we should have gone for both at the same time. Lots of fire there. The Panzer Abwehrkanone blasting away. Hoping to get the... Oh, sniper gets off a good shot. And of course, Hans has no sniper, so he might be forced, yes indeed, to react to that. Mines attempted there, but stopped by the Jeep. What a bit of fighting here. As Hans pushes forward. Rifleman taking heavy losses. And again, Speed and Merchant really dropped the ball when he began floating almost 1,000 manpower. Again, try not to do that. That's the sort of thing that gives your opponent a huge advantage, because then you're not using your advantage. So again, unless you actually got access to a Pershing or a Tiger right away, as soon as you reach that 800 manpower, don't float. I cannot stress that enough. More mines though from Hans. Lovely. Let's soon see the Grenadier squad formed out there. Sniper almost ready as well. American snipers moving out. He's getting 2 again. He might have wanted to wait and then just, get a Sherman out as soon as possible. Thus really force the advantage. Have the sniper clear out the pack and of course just charge in. Sniper suppressed those. Engineers moving up on the flank. Finally going for the munitions point. Hooray, Hansi. Fun thing about an American armored division, it was rather different from a German in the sense that while it had about the same amount of armor in numbers, the infantry complement was actually much smaller. I believe they might only had a battalion or 2, whereas the German Panzer division usually had more infantry than it had armor. In that sense, they usually have 2 regiments of infantry and then, I believe, and then 1 division, 1 regiment of Panzers. Stuff like that. Oh dear, pack though getting cleared out by snipers. Not looking good. Rifleman moving up here. Trying to grind their way through the MGs again. Grenades could have helped. Bike charging in. Hooray, another bike. We are seeing plenty of bikes and jeeps though. That's fun to note. Again, this hasn't been salvaged. Pioneers here are... I'm not sure what's keeping that man alive, honestly. And again, going for that munitions point. There we go. Tank on the way. Snipers moving out. 1 already. Veterans 1. In fact, 10 kills all between them. Hans is looking pretty savaged. Not a lot of infantry, which is definitely going to hamper him. Hold him back. Impede him. And there we go, though, another Grenadier squad ready. That should help a bit. And another Pioneer squad went down. Panzers ready for the Grenadiers. And there we go, first Sherman. The venerable M4 Sherman. Designed as an infantry support tank. In that sense, it was a bit designed like the Stug, you know, mainly support to help the infantry deal with other infantry in fortified positions, then sort of armor, the same sort of with the Stug. One of the differences with the Stug was actually better also dealing with armor, but though it didn't have the turret. So a little fun fact there, and also rather explains why the Sherman never really was that good against armor. Although of course they were able to upgrade with a high velocity 76mm gun, which still helped quite a bit. But they never really got the armor very thick. And Rifleman running into MG5 again, getting suppressed.
We're losing a sector.
Grenadiers up reinforcing. 50 caliber on the Sherman. Grenadiers forced to deal with the Rifleman over here. Sherman could in fact be arriving to aid. Yes, indeed. As the Riflemen are losing the fight, but with the Sherman, of course, that might very soon change. Blasting apart a tree, but not really succeeding in much else, and these Riflemen are likely to die. Or not. Apparently those Riflemen are quite lucky. There we could go, 2 Grenadiers down, Engineers with a flamethrower moving up. In the meanwhile, these Grenadiers actually need to retreat before the snipers manage to tear through them. I mean, a few more shots and that could be a full Grenadier squad down. 300 manpower gone in the blink of an eye. Which is usually a bad thing. But defense are not really the sort of thing that's really going to help Hans break up, but at least he's managed to secure some more territory, although it is a rather tenuous grip. Sherman moving up, could in fact be capturing that pack out of position. Oh, but the additional packs in fact hammering the side. And the Sherman hits a mine at the same time, thus meaning it's forced to slow down a bit. And a Grenadier squad reform, thus giving suddenly Hans a pretty decent infantry complement. Riflemen getting absolutely slaughtered by the strategic point. And they in fact this time did not manage to make it home to Mummy. No supply upgrade there though, that's pretty bad. Going for the fuel point, at least to hope to cut off the Americans from their precious fuel. Another bite on the way for Hansi. Sherman getting repaired, and those American snipers just keep on killing. 23 kills so far, that's quite nasty, in particular if you consider Grenadiers are expensive to reinforce. So I imagine those snipers are close to earning themselves in by now. More Panzers. Bike rushing in once more. Right in front of the Sherman though, I think Hans is being a bit reckless with his bikes. Though he has managed to control the fuel point over there. He's actually got quite a bit of fuel, but he's not got any Kampfkraft sensor, nor any sort of anything else that could really sort of take advantage of it, and that might be an idea for him now. At least just a bit of it. Another Sherman arrives though to push from the other side of the house. Grenadiers taking some nasty losses as they do advance. 50 caliber fire raking them down. Snipers shooting them through their between their eyes. And the 116th is definitely in a bit of trouble. More troops getting sniped. And looks like another unit died. Probably a Pioneer squad. No, that was a pack that went out, I think. And there we go. Sherman's pushing in now that they know one of the packs are gone. Tearing through the Grenadiers. And we are seeing field repairs up. He's gone armor. And some Grenadiers, Riflemen, I mean, managed to sneak a Panther shake away from the Grenadiers, though they might go down themselves. A medic station, by the way, would be a good choice also for Speed Merchant. But his Germans are definitely tearing a path through all those grenadiers, blasting away 75mm high explosive shells. These grenadiers are definitely not in a good condition. Pack trying to move in. And where are the supporting infantry? Where is it? Speed merchant. In fact, that rather looks like you're starting to lose a lot of infantry. Not able to replace it, which is not good. German might in fact go down, trying to take a rather wide arc around it. But they are finding themselves cut off. Engineers are arriving on the scene to perhaps at least fix one Sherman, but I fear this one is a goner. Yes, in fact, return to Speed Merchant, who's just lost one Sherman. He might in fact soon be able to get a Pershing, and yes, indeed, he's down to 2 rifleman squads. That's not really helpful, definitely not a good number for an American commander. And it is pushing up with a Panzers. Nice hit right there, and veterans 1 for the Sherman tank. Pershing very close. Still no upgrades. Snipers keep killing, both now veterans 2. But looks like Hans is still in position, and we are seeing an observation post right there on the munitions. That's definitely going to be a huge help to HelpingHans. All the 2nd Armored Division are regrouping and preparing new plans in the face of this.
We're drawing too much fire.
Pioneers rushing in, right under fire by the riflemen.
Riflemen ready, sir.
And again, the snipers are moving in. Really draining the German forces of vital manpower. Goliath sneaking up. Mind you, the Americans never really trained snipers during the Second World War. The best they had was sort of marksmen, but they were not really on the German level or the Russian level for that matter of sniperism. Bit of quiet as Germans are getting repaired. Pershing soon bound to arrive. Snipers killing wildly.
Sniper here.
15 and 18 kills. And there we go. The Pershing arrives. M26. Nasty little piece of heavy armor. It's 19mm velocity, reasonably high velocity gun, being quite alright, although I do believe it couldn't really match itself with that of the Panther, and certainly not with that of the Yak Panther or King Tiger. But it was certainly no match, well, it was certainly more than a match for the regular Tiger tank, although there was, of course, the first fight between a Tiger and a Pershing resulting, in fact, in the Pershing getting disabled after a hit managed to sort of knock out the crew in the turret. Hunter Sniper is in a bit of trouble there. Oh dear, Pershing Sherman rushes in. Again, field repairs. Might lose that Sherman though, which would be a shame. Anti-tank gun got knocked out by the Pershing. Grenadiers not looking good. Sniper fire. Panzers moving in, but needs to get out of there. And the medic bunker. Oh! Goliath gets the Sherman. What an explosion! One hell of a surprise for the Sherman crew. A little demolition vehicle used by the Germans. Pershing decides to pull out of there, what with its comrade going up in flames. Snipers though keep raking up the kills, but Hans is slightly stabilizing things, although he's still taking quite some brutal losses, although another grenade squad popped out. Rifleman needs to retreat. Speed much. Oh, he lost another rifleman squad. He needs replacements. Now, Grenadiers continuing to take some excess. Oh, Pershing went out of control. Oh, damn. Hans has actually turned things a bit around. Now they're both pretty battered. I mean, the speed merchant's taking heavy losses, but so has Hans. But at least Hans now has a chance of actually getting back on his feet. Opposite had that Pershing still been there. More mines. Veterans, he frees sniper out, although he's already lost another one. MG-42 seized by the Americans as well. Grenadiers getting sniped. Engineers charging in. Panzers secured again. But speed merchant needs replacement infantry. And again, a medic station really would have helped earlier on. And the flamethrower moving in to clear up that bunker. And the squad pretty
may now advance and capture territory.
Not in a good position moving in though to try and contain things. Germans. Oh, Hans needs. Oh, Hans lost his sniper to the veterans. He free one. Engineers pushed away, and another Goliath moving out. Oh dear, it might actually hit the mine. Huge explosion. Small victory right there for speed merchants, since that's one Goliath that won't be able to harm his own men. Smaller skirmishing left and right again. Speed merchant needs more infantry. More boots on the ground. Another Sherman that's arrived. Pushing onwards again. Only one pack to hold it back. A few Panzers to do the same. Speeding things up a bit. Sherman moving in there. Again. Oh, heavy fire. Heavy fire. Panzers and Panzerabwehrkanone. An anti-tank hailstorm threatening to knock out the Sherman, but it gets the bunker. And grenades against the MG. Oh, speed merchant lost his MG-42. So costly stolen from the Germans. Although I'm pretty sure Hans is pretty damn pleased. 26 kills to this handsome sniper fellow. Bike charges in. Sniper retreats. And the riflemen retreat. And there we go. More riflemen. Finally. Sherman also getting repaired. Ready to fight the Hun again. A slight retreat right there. Another bunker going up. Hans could consider more. Oh, BAR's up for speed merchant, but I think he needs one more rifle squad to really make it worth it. Kampfkraft Center finally going up for Hansi. And observation post getting burned alive. Although very close to setting up those mines. Sherman moving in. Sniper moving in. Looks like speed merchant is changing the approach, which is good, forcing Hans to react. I mean, act rather than react, I suppose. Well, move at least. But at least into a position which is not quite as prepared by Hans, not quite as ready for that. Going for the vital points. Oh my goodness, excellent hit by the Sherman right there. 3 grenadiers down. Face down, in fact, into the dirt. No medic bunker up yet, but there we go. Medics moving in. Pack finding way at the riflemen. Speed merchant probably trying to save up for another Pershing. And this pack could be in trouble. BAR far raking in. The actual rifleman squad though was about 12 men, and was usually sort of divided into 3 or 4 sections. There was the rifle section or the maneuver section. There was the sort of squad leader who was sort of maneuvering on his own. Sherman out control. And caught, unfortunately, that. Heavy armored losses, which was not uncommon though with the Sherman. And then they sort of have an MG section, which was usually the BAR with a few other men, or another LMG though. And then there was the scout section, which was another 2 men. So I mean, it was rather, you know, tasked into a lot of tiny bits, whereas the Germans sort of had an 8 to 9 man squad, with one sort of being the MG bit, and the other being the sort of maneuver bit. But usually again, it was rather more focused on the MG doing most of the work.
The Huns are taking our territory.
Whereas the Americans, it was more about their rifles doing most of the work, with the MG sort of supporting. So that was quite a bit of a dichotomy. But speed merchants doing slightly less good. Again, I do think the lack of a supply upgrade early on, and again that early floating of resources really was a huge mistake. Lots of mines there by speed merchant, moving his sniper behind into the bike. If it is tempted to move in, gets knocked out.
Krauts are grabbing our territory.
And there we go, Pershing moving in again. And the mine laid by Hansi goes up in the face of those riflemen, causing quite a lashing, and these pioneers are going to regret taking that munitions point as the Pershing moves in and absolutely misses. Brilliant. Engineers, veterans you want, but they need to retreat. They're not in a good condition, Speed Merchant. And the Pershing rolls in, gets off a good shot, and the Panzers just fail to penetrate the frontal armor of the Pershing. Pioneers getting pushed back right there in the east. And there's no packs from poor Hansi, but we are seeing a Panzer command going up. The 116th finally getting their armor onto the field. Riflemen taking some unpleasant losses, though, from the pioneers, in fact, due to the fact they're not really in good cover. But there we go, Pershing move in to try and knock out that Kraut bunker. And the Panther command is getting closer to being done. And in fact, it's time to return to HelpingHans. Oh dear, the Pershing got its engine damaged. Not really the day to be Hansi. Well, the day to be Speed Merchant, I suppose.
Our heavy rocket batteries are asking for a target.
And there we go, heavy rocket batteries. Look, in fact, Hans has got instruction fully decked out. Bunker getting repaired. Quite vital for Hans, of course, to get as much infantry back, if possible. Looks like another sniper could be on the way. Riflemen in dire need a reinforcement. Hans pulling in for another defensive action here. Veterans who finding up for some of his infantry. Riflemen moving in, taking some shots. And a slight retreat from Speed Merchant, as he knows, doesn't quite fancy attacking that. And there we go, Panzer command is up. Shall we be seeing a Panther? No, we'll be seeing a Panzer IV. Curiously enough, I would have expected a Panther, considering he has a Pershing on his, well, at his throat at the moment. Another sniper arriving, though I might think another Sherman or some more riflemen would be better, something that could rather, actually attack, rather than something to support the attack.
Was the enemy.
And we are seeing another Goliath coming out for HelpingHans. German could be salvaged for munitions. And there we go, lovely job. Sniper owns up, gets a Grenadier. 31 kills, he's definitely earned himself in. Might be a bit overmatched there, in fact, just went down to the Pershing. One shot from that 90mm gun, and that bike pretty much vaporized, vanished into thin air.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Casualties keep breaking up. Panzer IV arriving. Goliath moving out on the flank. Panzer Kampfwagen 4, workhorse of the Allied war machine. Well, Wehrmacht Panzerwaffe more specifically. And engineer down. It was originally sort of designed like the Sherman Warrior, mainly more like an infantry support tank, which of course is the Panther IV infantry support tank, as you know it from the Panzer Elite. Oh, Rifleman squad went down to a Goliath. Excellent job, Hansi. But it was later sort of upgunned to sort of become more of a regular medium tank, since they rather realized, they couldn't deal with the Soviets, and so this was one of the first ones to get really upgunned alongside the Stug 3. And rather served quite admirably until the end of the war, proving a problem to Shermans and T-34s alike. Although either of them, once upgunned, could also rather easily deal with the Panzer IV. A Sherman arriving. No veterancy for the Panther, Kampfwagen 4. 3 kills though. American armor on the move. Again going for the medic bunker, but we do see that the pack is a bit more exposed. In fact, he's all ready to hold fire, interesting enough. He's hoping to sort of launch an ambush, which is quite fun to note. Sniper sneaking about, and there we go. Pack exposing itself. Pershing taking heavy damage. Oh, Grenadier squad down! Another Grenadier getting hammered by Sherman and sniper fire. Hans is losing infantry pretty swiftly. Leaning behind. Oh dear, he lost. Hans has just lost both Grenadier squads. This is pretty bad. Bike moving in though. Trying to get the sniper. Hans' sniper misses. Sherman and Panzer 4 versus Pershing. Actually, the Sherman moving in to deal with that naughty pack. Field repairs going up. And the Jeep going into the Allied base. 30 caliber engineer trying to get in their way. Oh, the terrible luck. Sniper got away. Cheeky sod. Pack gone as well. Hans is once more in a very nasty place. Sherman Pershing causing havoc. And the only thing he has to really stop it is a Panzer 4, which is not really capable of dealing with a Pershing. And he doesn't even have veterancy for it, which is a bit of a unfortunate mistake, I'd argue. But Speed Merchant, on the other hand, is pretty low on other bits like infantry and actually things that could take territory. Although he could go for the victory if he so decides, since Hans is down to 80 points, which is actually pretty close. So if Speed Merchant rather decides to rewrite his strategy according to that, he might still be able to pull off a decent victory. But Panzer Kampfwagen 5, the Panther is going to make that quite difficult. In particular, if he actually bothers getting some veterancy forward. Another pack on the way. Veterancy 1 finally on the way for the armor. Sherman Pershing moving in. Panzer 4 is their target. Panther arrives. And of course targets the Sherman, the easier of the two. Pioneers going down. A bloody fight.
We're losing a sector.
Panther pushing forward, hoping, and we are seeing Allied War Machine going up. Thus causing Hans to be a bit more cautious, since he doesn't want to actually give him a free tank. Oh, does he? Yes, destroyed engine on the Sherman. That's definitely. Oh, he's upgunned there, in fact, making it even easier to take out the German armor. Panther and Panzer 4 are... Oh, Sniper got murdered! But the Sniper in return got absolutely blasted away by the Panzer 4 pack setting up. Both sides' armor are in a pretty terrible condition. In fact, both sides in generally are in a rubbish condition. They've absolutely worn each other out. And that Sherman is pretty close to being a bonfire, although it's currently a bit of a moving grill. If you want anything barbecued, if you don't mind the taste of diesel, that is. Or is it gasoline? Never mind. Sniper that opens up.
Ready?
Rifleman charging in.
Only 50 points in reserve, and even this is dropping.
And what shall happen? Is Hans calling in a 200? Oh my goodness, he's absolutely angry or insane calling in. I mean, oh my goodness, that's just Hans' pent-up rage released in one agonizing moment, obliterating one American rifleman squad utterly, which in fact pretty much means that Speed Merchant has only 2 engineers left. 2 engineer squads and a sniper. That's the only thing on foot, otherwise he's got those 2 tanks. Oh my goodness, both sides are absolutely shattered, to put it mildly. And Hans's victory points are quickly ticking down. All Speed Merchant needs to do is hold the line just for a bit longer. Pershing could be going down though. Sherman moving up with the 76mm gun. Pike moving up. And the rifleman squad, point being secured.
Enemy unit down.
Pioneer sneaking out on the west as well.
We're losing a fuel sector.
Panzer IV getting repaired, and looks like something's on the way from the Wehrmacht quarters. What could it be? Sherman moves in though, goes for the Panther, needs to be careful though. Pull back, pull back. And rifleman charge pretty heedlessly into the midst of things. Sherman needs to get away, get away, get away. Cannot take on a Panther like that. These riflemen are definitely not in a strong position either. Could be going down any second now. In fact, they just got wiped out. Speed Merchant is clearly getting a bit reckless in his oh, sniper went down! He's just lost all of his snipers. He's lost pretty much everything. He is getting extremely reckless, trying to sort of hammer in that final victory, but he should rather try and sort of perhaps, you know, fight elsewhere, perhaps sneak in, take that victory point down here and hope that can help him instead of fighting on Hans's turf. Hans is pushing onwards. We are seeing riflemen sneaking towards the west. Another squad. I think it's a bit too late to get all that now. He might want to consider actually getting some tank destroyers to then try and sort of deal some more damage to these German tanks. Die Kampfwagen. Pershing and Panzer IV exchanging a few shots. Panther aiding. And I hear explosions. And we are seeing a bunker going up here to try and protect this. Hans, of course, being quite aware he's getting up 2 bunkers. Mine goes off, though, destroying the engine of both tanks and probably killing a Pioneer squad in the process. Oh, poor Hans right there, not quite the lucky fellow. Sherman getting repaired, Pershing almost done as well. But he's going to run into problems there again. Should have gone for it earlier. Instead, now there's an empty bunker for machine gun fire, ready to haunt Hans's every step. Looks like Hans has actually trained some Volksgrenadiers now, calling in what little remains available to him in infantry. Another attempt right in the center was quickly foiled by the Panther. Sherman on the way. And another MG. Not really looking good for poor little Hans. Another Sherman. Take the other 2, and looks like he's making an assault. Might have been better though, actually trying to sort of launch a flank assault rather than charging headlong in. Rifleman squad again gone. Speed Merchant is utterly desperate. He's pretty much willing to risk everything if he thinks he can just hold it for a bit longer. And again, that's a bit of a thing that can happen with players when they do feel they're this close with that sort of advantage, rather than thinking, oh wait, let's try to actually take my time to pull off a proper assault. They'll just rush in and hope they can sort of pull it off that way, heedless of the casualties, which usually actually ends up winning the other guy the game. Oh dear, I think that was another Goliath. And the Sherman went out of control. Again, Hans is doing quite wonderful work with his Goliaths, that's for certain. Panzer IV moving up, Panther moving in. Shots bouncing off. Veterans on the way for the armor, I suspect.
Listen up, Rifle Squad. I got a bad feeling about this, Sarge.
Bit of fire left and right. And there we go, Veterans 2 up, machine gunners on the tanks. That's definitely not going to make it easier for Speed Merchant, who seems to be just recklessly charging in now. Anti-tank gun could be going down, but these riflemen need to get out of there. Oh, Speed Merchant, what's going wrong with you?
Enemy unit down.
There we go. Anti-tank gun down, Panther and Panzer 4, they're pushing in. And some great shots right now in the Panther, already taking it down to half health, but Pershing is pulling out, thus forcing the Sherman to pull out as well. And of course, the question that sort of comes out at this point, was it perhaps not better he went for infantry or airborne rather than Sherman, since he does seem to be lacking sort of the panache and the skill to sort of really pull off anything with armor. I mean, had he gone for infantry, he'd been able to sort of barrage Hans with artillery, which could have worked more to his advantage, gotten off-map combat groups, Rangers, or airborne, just dropped in anti-tank guns, perhaps. I mean, something like that, something that would have helped him slightly build up some better defenses for Hans' counterattack. Might have worked a bit better, plus, you know, dealt with those bunkers in a slightly faster manner. Now we are seeing the Calliope moving in. The Calliope is sort of the same period of the war as the Pershing, that is late, much late, about, you know, December. This sort of rocket tubes, though, were not only mounted on Calliope, they also were sort of more for, you know, use like a regular artillery on the ground. Some were mounted on the trucks and then called the xylophone, but I mean, they never really sort of got the same effect because they really couldn't get the same sort of numbers unless they were mounted on a Calliope, which what the Germans could actually sort of hold all those tubes. There was also a few other sort of variants, some with rockets mounted on the side of the turret and such. Pershing charges in, desperate to get the Panzer 4. A pretty armoured assault right there by Speed Merchant, but a second Panther arrived to save the day. I think had Speed Merchant actually, instead of going for Pershing, Calliope going for two tank destroyers, he might actually pull this one off, because then he could have outmaneuvered them, while the Shermans and the Pershings pushed to the front, then the tank destroyers would have flanked. And another Goliath moves in. Hans is absolutely in love with those little things. And looks like that Sherman is in trouble. Quite a bit, to be honest.
Casualties being reported.
And there we go, Sherman kaput, blown up in the name of the fatherland. Calliope is trying to desperately stem the Hun tide. Not quite succeeding anything. Those paper Panzers of the Allies are no match for the Allied Axis war machine, not the Allied. That's an ability, which of course could be used, but sadly did not work out for Speed Merchant. Bunkers going up. MG still proving to be a nuisance to these riflemen. And there we go, Veterans free on the way for the armor. That's going to add side armored skirts to all of them, providing protection against sticky bombs, also a bit against other tanks fire, but not really a huge deal though. Manufacturer in this point neutral, but again I do think Mr. Speed Merchant is a bit too reckless. And then we go, the armored skirts up. The Schürzen mostly actually developed not to deal with bazookas and such, but actually to deal with anti-tank rifles, which are actually causing a bit of trouble for this, you know, threats and such. And the earlier tanks which actually had pretty thin side armor. There is some debate as to actually side skirts helped against bazookas or actually made them more effective, for example. And later on they sort of just went over a more bed spring frame. Even the later Panzer wars had that. The Germans also had one other thing they actually tried in an attempt to sort of stop things more like magnetic mines, which were also used through the war, though mainly by them. That was something called Simmerit, a paste which sort of made it harder for such things like magnetic mine tracks to sort of stick to the side. But later on the Germans sort of realised they were pretty much the only ones to actually use magnetic mines, and so they sort of just stopped using Simmerits. Hands of all them Pershing really doing a nasty work. Several tank destroyers ready. Panthers heavily damaged, but lots of repair bunkers up, lots of pioneers. Speeding it up a bit. Another push by the 116th Panzer Division. Tank destroyers not. Pershing taking heavy fire. Panzer 4 moving up, but the tank destroyers are absolutely wreaking havoc on the tank. And there we go, it is gone. And a Goliath! Hans has snuck in another Goliath. Oh, that cheeky sod. Oh, poor maneuver right there. It was very close to have done something to the Pershing, but no, instead it sort of got detonated prematurely. Another Climactic barrage. Pioneers repairing it, some dying, the most remaining. And a Volksgrenadier moving up, knocking out the main gun on the tank destroyer with that mighty Panzerfaust. That's the spirit, men. Guten Job. Guten Job. Guten Arbeit. Oh dear, tank destroyer down. Second Armoured Division is pretty much gone. Another Panzerfaust finishes the job. Panthers pushing in. 2 Calipes again. I think that was a missed choice right there. Hartman coming under rather severe machine gun fire from the Panthers. And the Pioneers actually making short work of them. Sticky bomb on Panther though. Doubt that will knock it out. Pershing gone in fact. And now there's nothing to stop them because he spent his last resources on another bloody Calliope. And there we go. Game over. Victory for HelpingHans and the 116th Panzer Division. The 2nd Armoured Division will be forced back with heavy losses, though the 116th certainly took a thrashing as well. So, I mean, what can we learn from this match? I mean, we saw again mines, making a difference, but also, the Goliaths. Absolutely vicious weapon used properly. Knocked out tanks, knocked out entire infantry squads. Quite nasty. The problem, though, with Speed Merchant, there was again, he sort of began making some pretty nasty decisions after his pretty successful early attack. I mean, great stuff there, and then he just sort of fell apart. I mean, he began floating resources. Terrible. And then sort of a bit, splitting up quickly, either Shermans or snipers or something like that, but no, he couldn't quite decide, so his approach got rather muddled up, and again, I'm not 100% sure, again, considering that armor was then the great choice. Perhaps he should have gone infantry or airborne rather than support it that way. But he rather wasted a huge chance and then was slowly but surely pushed back by Hans, who was definitely holding on though pretty desperately, but was able to turn things around by throwing pretty much everything into the fight, including Goliaths. So there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.